Let's talk family. Let's talk family about the things that impact us as individual family members, as a whole, as a community family, and as a country family. Let's Talk Family Life. Let's Talk Family is a program brought to you by Family Life Ministries. Family Life Ministries is a counseling organization that primarily offers individual, family, and relationship counseling. We have counselors who are available to speak on a number of subjects for your conferences for church, school, or work. Family Life Ministries is also known for its media programs, the divorce recovery program Fresh Start, and its company counseling package, the Employee Assistance Program. Visit our website at www.familylifeministriesjamaica.com. Find us on Facebook at FLM Family Life Ministries or on Instagram at FLMJA, and subscribe to our YouTube channel, Family Life Ministries FLMJA. We'll give our numbers at the end of this program. Now here's today's episode of Let's Talk Family.
Welcome to Let's Talk Family. I'm your host, Audra Williams. Let's come to the verse of the day. Galatians 6 verse 10 says, "So then, as we have opportunity, let us do good to everyone, and especially to those who are of the household of faith." Good evening, everyone. True neighbors care about all aspects of our life. So as a true neighbor, the church is not only concerned about our spiritual health, they want to know you're physically and mentally healthy. As president of the Jamaica Council of Churches, Reverend Newton Dixon is here with us to talk about that part of their neighborly mission. Hi, Reverend Dixon. Welcome to Let's Talk Family.
Hi, Audra. Thanks for having me again. Glad to be here with you.
Awesome. So let's talk about healthcare, clinics, and the church. What does the church really know about healthcare? Come on, we're a spiritual set of people. What does health have to do with anything?
Can you imagine church people trying to be doctors, eh? But the truth is that the church has always had an interest in the well-being of not just its members, but the communities in which we are located. And by well-being, we understand this to come from the understanding we have of what salvation really means in its truest and fullest essence. It really is being whole and complete. So it's spiritual, there's a spiritual dimension, there is the physical dimension, and there's the psychological or mental dimension, and there may be others that are subsets of these major parts. Churches have focused for a long time on mental and physical health. And so many of our churches have enlisted the services of professionals, both medical doctors who address the medical issues and the psychologists, the clinicians who assist in the mental area.
And so we know that you cover the mental aspect, but do we actually have clinics?
Many churches have operating clinics. I know I can call a few names, which I may not want to at this time, but there are many churches, I won't call the specific locations, but there are many churches that operate clinics. The Baptist Church does, the Anglican Church, the Roman Catholic Church, and many others. These are clinics where the services of the medical profession are offered. They range from actually being able to see a doctor, to prescription services, to being able to be treated in psychological counseling. There are also churches that do more specific forms of counseling. For a long time, many churches have offered counseling for grief, counseling for marriage, counseling for parenting and child rearing. Churches have these outlets for people to benefit from.
So how does one see counseling from the church?
Most churches operate an appointment system at the very basic pastoral level. Most pastors have office hours where they will offer pastoral counseling. That has to be distinguished, obviously, from clinical or psychological counseling. Now, some pastors are trained psychologists, but most pastors offer just basic pastoral counseling, which addresses basic fundamental issues of relationships and so on. But for those deeper issues that relate to psychological disorders and so on, churches have well-trained clinical professionals who will operate on an appointment basis.
Wow. And that includes for the clinics as well that you had mentioned earlier. Are these physical spaces that persons can walk in, like, say, a normal community clinic?
Yes, I'm aware that some of these clinics have specific days on which they operate, and so they may not operate in the same way that the government institutions do, but they offer a well-needed service, especially in some communities where the volume of need is addressed by the presence of a clinic of this nature. I also know that some churches on an annual or semi-annual basis have large one-day clinics or health fairs where they attempt to do more in the area of diagnosis and the basic treatment and provide basic medications. So for those that may not have an ongoing clinic, I know of several that take the health fair approach where once or twice per year some services offered. And these are useful to the extent that many persons are able to detect problems with their health that they normally would not detect because they either can't afford to go to see a doctor or they have difficulty accessing the services of the clinic for whatever the reason. So these opportunities also exist on these periodic bases for people to get some form of care.
And how many people, families, communities benefit from the health clinics and health services that the church provides?
That's a data problem we are still trying to work on. I think the best I can say right now is that most of the clinics that are operated by our member churches are in the larger urban centers. There are some in the periphery, but most are in the Kingston and Spanish Town and those areas. And so the numbers are not at my fingertips, but I know that these clinics serve a significant number and have a tremendous impact on the families that use their services.
And how do you select the persons that need it the most?
Again, churches operate on the basis of need. Whosoever will may come approach, once there's a need, it is not important whether this person is a member of the church or not. Once the church has the opportunity to offer the service, the communities are benefited, the members of the community are benefited. It is to the extent, however, that a screening process has to be done to determine the nature of the intervention. To that extent, selections have to be done. But there is no discrimination per se with respect to who has access. Everyone in the communities in which the clinics operate have access to the services the churches provide.
Wow, that is awesome. I'd also like to know, are these clinics usually free or discounted?
Usually they are. I'm not aware of those that charge any significant amounts for the services. The ones that I'm aware of, especially in Kingston, usually provide a service at a really small cost, or should I say at a subsidized cost, and some services are free.
And how has COVID impacted this area of the church?
Well, I think I want to focus on the area of mental health because I don't think we have a lot of time to deal with all of the sectors. We are beginning to realize that one of the pandemic's main impacts is the trouble many of our people are having with staying home and being caught in limited spaces, small spaces with large numbers of persons. And what we've begun to see is that this has led to issues with domestic violence as well as psychological health. And now the church has had to come up with strategies to assist communities and families to deal with this impact of the pandemic. we are noticing that more people are turning up at the hospitals as a result of violence in the homes. We know now that a direct consequence of the restrictions in the situation with the pandemic is the issue of domestic violence. And so churches are trying to reach out to families. I know that some churches are trying to take their services into the community to the extent that that is possible, given the fact of the distancing issues and the protocols and so on, because there are serious problems which have arisen as direct consequences of the pandemic. So mental health is a serious issue for churches now. It's something we have been struggling with from the very onset of the pandemic. We started seeing the signs early, and now they are more pronounced. And now I think even state actors have acknowledged that there is a problem, and the churches have been finding ways and seeking for ways to partner with organizations that provide this kind of support. So we align ourselves and work with agencies, both non-governmental and governmental, that will address the issue of mental health and domestic violence.
Oh, wow, Reverend Dixon. Guess what? The time is up. Thanks for coming by and helping us to really understand the scope of the work of the church in the healthcare of its congregants and the wider community. Thanks to you all for listening. Remember to care for your loved ones and yourself. Have a blessed rest of the evening.
And you feel my life, you're everything to me, and there's nothing else I need anymore.
This was Let's Talk Family, a production of Family Life Ministries. If you or anyone you know would like advice and counseling, call us or head office at 1 Cecilio Avenue at 876-926-8101, 876-929-4360, or 876-920-1034, or center in Port Moore at 117 Cecile Avenue at 876-939-7917.
This program was produced at the studio of the United Church in Jamaica and the Cayman Islands, located at 12 Carlton Crescent, Kingston 10. Call us at 876-926-6059 for your voiceover and broadcasting needs.